on Twitch. Hello, guys. We're getting set for another Title Tuesday. You know, I don't get to say anymore that, hey guys, welcome to like May Title Tuesday, April Title Tuesday, March Title Tuesday, because now they're every week. You guys are spoiled. You guys are spoiled with these Title Tuesday events. So yeah, we're actually here with the May 12th edition. The May 12th edition. But it should be a good one. As you can see on the screen, we got Hikaru in there, Firouzja, Vladimir is Dmitry Andreikin, Dolis is Daniel Dubov, Azeri Chess. I mean, there's a wealth of guesses about who that might be. Mamedov springs to mind, but I'm sure it says in his profile. Anish Giri, Georg Meyer, Farham Magsudlu. Will Grischuk play? I'm not sure. Grischuk usually plays, like he was playing even while he was doing commentary previously. But he just played in an event like Russia charity Blitz event. So he might be off the table, but we'll see. Alexander Bortnik is also playing. I see Mickey Tarian has just joined at the last minute. Starts in a minute and a half, guys. And that's right. Our boy Aryan is there. But I think Firouzja has missed the last couple of these because he's been playing so many events, remember? He's been playing Nations Cup. He's been playing Magnus Invitational. So having Firouzja back in the event is fun. Honestly, the last time I remember Firouzja in a Title Tuesday, he was playing H4 and A4 on move 1. Or H5 with black, and he was just trolling, and he won almost all his games. So I'm personally happy to have that back in the event, guys. That's the kind of chess we live for here on Title Tuesday. Reminder, it's 10 rounds. I believe that's actually a bit of a change. Maybe not exactly for this week. I don't think this is the first time that it's like that, but within the last couple weeks, it's definitely moved to the 10-round format again from 9 rounds. So we get 10 rounds, and it is 3 minutes plus 1 second increment for the time control. So people can survive, an end game where they need to convert the position. They got that plus 1 second, but believe me, plus 1 you should not rely on. You should not rely on at all to keep you afloat. We're going to see lots of flagging. We always see some dirty stuff. Guys, let's get into it. We're starting. Welcome. Hey, Bianker Boy. Alexander and I were having a debate whether your name was Beanker Boy or Bianker Boy. Hikaru's at the top of the table. Let's take a look from his perspective in his first round game here. G takes F6. I think he's going for an imbalance there. Going for an imbalance. It's a good point, CJ Rebick. I was commentating an under 1200 arena, and now I am commentating very much an over 1200 arena, if you'd like to think of it that way. But yeah, this should be a stacked event. Should be a stacked event. Already we see Naka probably going to want to get like F5, Knight D7, Knight F6. King F8, King G7 is also possible, but we also might see Naka looking to castle here. Castle long, rather. I got my morning coffee. Anyone else got a coffee with me? Any coffee drinkers? Cheers. I got it right? Oh, that's exciting, Bianker Boy. That's exciting. Who doesn't like being right? Right? All right, here we go. C5. Naka's already counterattacking. White has the 2 bishops, but honestly, this sort of Tetris block formation is very strong. Not only is F5 available, but even in some positions, E5 followed by F5 and E4, the pawns really can start to roll. Like for example, takes, E5 followed by F5, E4. Ooh, my goodness. Pawn takes. That just looks wrong. Something looks wrong there. So the knight's coming to d5, no question about that. This king wants to go to g2, and I think if white could have it his way, he would like to put the bishop on e4. And that's exactly why I think Naka just went queen c6. It stops the two ideas that I just outlined for white. Hey Vila, how you doing? Rook h2. Guys, this is not a move that you should be proud of. Trust me. Trust me, you don't want to be playing rook h2. So I think Naka's already got a good position. I'm actually going to go around, take a look at some of the other games. Firouzja is playing Katerina. It says Miroshnik, but I'm wondering if that's even a shortened username. Reminds me of Mironishenko, actually, the commentator, but he's playing at WFM, and honestly, it's like she's really coming at him here with the H pawn up the board. Okay, I mean, queen takes seems to make some sense, but obviously the knight wants to jump in there after this knight moves. The thing is, I'm just wondering like how Firouzja. Sorry, he played king h1. He trapped his own knight. Like, how is he getting his knight out? This is what concerns me. Like, what's going on here? Is Firouzja going to lose the first game? See, guys, you might want me to stick with one game, but I'm going to be jumping around here. I'm going to be jumping around here. He's planning queen d4. Firouzja is so tricky. The Hikaru game looks pretty smooth so far for Hikaru. But this, man, this is one of the biggest upsets of the tournament, maybe, if this goes through. Do you see the leaderboard? Well, here, I'll bring that up for you. I mean, it sort of shows the leaderboard, but early on in this tournament, it's doesn't really paint a very interesting picture. Ooh, 94. What's going on here? If takes? Oh my goodness. Are there some big moves happening here? Maybe pawn takes and knight g3? What's going on? Wait. Rook c8. What am I seeing? I thought that black was uncorking something special, but actually it was just an insane blunder. I was waiting for the beautiful checkmate. That's a full rook blunder. And Firouzja takes the victory after all that. After all that, it's actually Firouzja who gets the victory. All right, let's keep going. How about Daniel Dubov here with the black pieces? And again, tough looking positions all around. How's Hikaru doing? Just double check. Seems like Hikaru is doing very well here. Rook's coming to h2. I think Hikaru's going to win that game. Wow, so Firouzja comes away with the victory. In this position, though, I do not like, I don't really like black's position. What he's going to do, though, queen c6, queen e6, knight there and knight there. That's the goal, you know, that's the dream. This bishop, I think, wants to go to d2 very badly. I'm surprised he didn't put it there already. If king there, I'll just point out, like, let's say one idea that you got to watch out for. It's like, you know, basically, if this queen ever moves, of course, knight c7 wins the queen, but queen takes a5 also will deliver a checkmate there. So that's what I wanted to point out. Is queen takes a5 is sometimes a very dangerous idea. So to try to illustrate it, is black's turn? Okay, so something like, you know, this you could take is what I'm talking about, and then get the knight in there for a mate. That's the theme. 97. There's no knight c6 threat. These knights look very clumsy, though. If the knight gets to e6 and d4, this turns around completely. Okay, he's committing. He's going for this. Does knight e6 work and just give up the exchange? Yep, I think he's going to go for that. King c7. He's going to take back with a rook, and he wants to get that knight in there. This pawn is hanging. White is honestly playing fantastic, but he's got 9 seconds. 3+1 time control, and he's taking with the knight. He doesn't want to give up any pawn. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Queen a8 maybe sprung to mind there. Knight b7, everything's protected. And is black gonna... Wow, somehow he's defending everything here. 1.8 seconds, guys. 1.8. Holy smokes. I like black. He's got the knights, he's got the pass pawns. Now white seems to be playing well. It's just hard to handle this position. Is he gonna play a4? No, he takes. Takes, maybe rook b1 threatens rook takes b4. Okay, not anymore. Tough position to play. Here comes the c-pawn, right? Hikaru did win his game, confirmed. And yeah, he won by timeout. I mean, guys, it's so hard to play with 1 second increment. You cannot rely on that. Let's check out Vidit. Vidit had some very exciting games of the Nations Cup. I know he was personally very disappointed. If anyone saw his own Twitter account, he was personally disappointed in his performance in the Nations Cup. But I thought he played some pretty exciting games, some pretty fun games. Yeah, just take that. King takes here, and that is winning. Push that pawn and just outflank. The nice thing is that this position in chess is winning no matter whose move it is. It's a good thing to remember. It is a good thing to remember. There we go. All right, a win for Vidit. And let's keep checking here. Anton Demchenko, but how about Yaspim? That is, oh, he's done his game. I was going to say, he also played for Team Rest of the World. Or wait, no, I thought that was Jorge Corey. It might not be. I can't actually remember. I think it is Jorge Corey, but I suppose I shouldn't say that too definitively. How about Mikola Bortnik? He's still playing? The Bortnik family name goes strong. Yeah, that's okay. Thanks, Max. Thank you. Another very talented Peruvian player, but not Jorge Corey. I think he has another account on Chess.com. I mean, he's equally strong, so by rating, you could easily make the mistake, but that is another high-rated Peruvian GM. Queen g5, queen's there. So this is still a bit tricky, and I'm actually impressed by how fast black is playing these moves. Check, and check, it will do it, though. There we go. Finally. Wow. Nicely played. Nicely played. And how about these last couple games here? I think we're going to see this one converted. What do you think, boys? Did someone just lose a piece? No, this was just winning the whole time. That was winning the whole time. And then the final game should be a draw, I guess. And, oh, wow. Someone has a couple seconds. So, honestly, I feel like if anyone's going to win this game, it's probably going to be white. Because black might flag. Okay. It's very rare, guys, in these Title Tuesdays that the correct result on the board actually happens in the game. You know what I mean? So it's actually reassuring to see that. You know, that's great. Let's get into the next game here. Let's take a look at someone we didn't catch in the first round. All right, we're going to go with Parhamov. We're going to go with Parhamov. I know there's so many strong players here, but I'm going to try to focus on a different player each round. And then near the end of the tournament, we're going to have to focus on the guys who have all the points. But I'm going to try for now to check out some different players. Parhamov, of course, also from Iran and still representing Iran. As far as FIDE goes, h6, f5. And this is a nice little setup here. This is a nice little setup here. So knight c4 and a3 might happen. Okay, he wants to go f4, but black's definitely playing f5. I expect queen d7, king h7, rook over. Even d5 looks crazy, but certainly a consideration. takes. This D pawn is an issue, I think. You know, he can quite easily gang up on the D3 pawn and put a lot of pressure. If F4, then white is looking to get involved on the light squares, so it's a trade-off. White gets some light squares, but black also gets some dark squares here. I have to say, white's position doesn't look that bad. Knight F4, though, he's going to have to take it, and it's all about this dark square bishop, if that can make a difference. Otherwise, I think white actually has a reasonable position. This pawn is being hit. Black's sort of like queenside idea of B5 is not happening. C5 is actually hanging here, followed by D4. Yeah, I mean, knight takes C5 definitely can be played. He's going aggressive. Knight F3 looks... Yeah, knight F3 looks like it's screaming to be played, but I think he's going to go and actually take that pawn. If bishop takes, there's queen e6 at the end to trade the queens. Oh, he's going to take that. Queen e6. I don't think that was good. I like white's position, guys. Knight takes f4 happening. D4 is going to be so strong. Bishop e5, d4. I mean, Parhamov is in a bad position here. And he actually offered a draw here. And his opponent immediately declined it. And you know that's serious. When you offer a draw and your opponent doesn't make a move to decline it, they actually just, like, he smacks your offer off the table. He's just like, no. Nobody. It's not happening. Takes and probably rook there, if I had to guess. I think he really may consider sacking the knight on d4. Okay, it's so unnecessary, but it is an idea. It is an idea. This looks like a strong reply, though. I was thinking rook e3, and he does it. He does it, guys. There you go. I was wondering, is he going to go for that? But he sacks. There's going to be two knights and a rook against a rook and a bishop. And a pawn on h6. Rook to b1. And yeah, I imagine he might draw this game. So we're going to go hunt, try to find another game. How's Hikaru doing? But that was actually kind of an upset there. As Parhamov may lose that game. He's certainly not going to win it. But maybe the most likely result is a draw. Hikaru with the white pieces looks absolutely crushing here. Almost so much so that I want to check if there's any other games. Because, man, he is going to win this one. Let me tell you. That is guaranteed. Queen d4. What about over here? Let's follow Bortnik. Bortnik, by the way, I mean, we talk a lot about how talented he is in Blitz, Bullet, just online chess formats, but he particularly excels in these Title Tuesdays. I think he's won a few of them before. I don't want to misquote, but I think he may have even gotten a perfect score one time. He's definitely gotten like 8.5 out of 9 before, but he may have even been the one of the guys who got a perfect score once, and I think I may have been commentating that one. So Firouzja, I think his game is already done. That's why I wasn't on Firouzja's game. As you can see, he's already at 2 out of 2 on top of the table. So Firouzja already won his game. Parhamov still trying to defend. Knight d2. He's looking to get that knight out of d4. I mean, black played king f8, so his king is never really going to have safety in this game, actually. Even if it makes it to d7, I mean, an f-pawn is going to be crashing through. This bishop or this queen, if it makes it to that diagonal, is going to be very strong. Queen b5. Looks very tough. Very tough, guys. That's actually a strong move. Now, I would say probably a4, a5 is, yep, very strong. This pawn is loose. The only thing is queen takes f4 is in the air. So he's saying, look, a4, I don't care. Queen takes f4. And although there's h4 here and taking, I'm not sure it's that scary. That queen gets over there, queen h2, king f1. I don't see any more checks. Parhamov did make that draw, by the way. And what's going on in Hikaru's game? Okay, I think he is converting it. Just take on e8 and Bring the king, I imagine. Well, bring the king over here. Yeah, I mean, Hikaru's going to take that. Maybe f4 as well. Yeah. So Hikaru wins. He's off to a good start. This game is still very tricky. As white, you almost want to play like bishop d3, just to bait the guy into taking your queen. It's not a good move, but it's a funny looking move. Queen c3, then queen h6, I imagine he wants to do. There's not really a threat there, though. Bishop is going to go back there. No, it's going to d3. I'm not sure I like that bishop there. Now, I agree. It covers all the squares that knight wants to go to, but something feels weird about leaving this h-file open and not having that bishop there. But we'll have to see. I think he might know better than me. Knight f5, I think he's taking that. And knights are so tricky. Wow, he leaves it on the board. I would never leave a knight on the board. Oh, now he's taking. Okay, his opponent gave him a very nice option of queen d4 there. And wow, tactic after tactic. He finds a very quick solution. Just winning here. He is just winning. All right. Daniel Dubov winning. Yeah, he's winning this as well. He's got lots of time, so I don't think there's any concern here. We're in round 2 right now. Vladislav Kovalev is also here. This guy's a very exciting player. Bishop d3. Yep. So basically, this h-pawn is going to go, and this king is going to get in here. King there, king there. The h-pawn is going to run, and essentially what you do is you get the king on an opposition where the king's on a light square, and then you give him a check. And whichever way he goes, you go the opposite way. That's usually how you handle these endgames. So I think he should bring the bishop back here to get on this diagonal and go king e4. I don't know why he's not doing that, but that's how you win it. Okay, well that's a blunder. That's a blunder. Konovets, I believe that's Sam Sevian. And unfortunately, Sam Sevian is definitely going down in this position. There's an upset. Hanging pointer. With the upset victory. Renato Terry, speaking of strong Peruvians, Renato Terry in the building, and I believe he's going to take this one down as well. We've seen some crazy Title Tuesdays where queen against knight is a draw, but queen against knight where you also have a knight. Oh, he had mate in 1 there. What's he doing? Okay, he's doing some funny technique, but hey, a win is a win. You would much rather be the guy who has funny technique but gets a win than the guy who has good technique and loses. Yeah, and black can just go take this. There we go. And I think we're getting to the end of this round. Maybe there's one more game, and wow. Oh. I was about to say that I'm going to start taking bets for whether or not someone is going to actually win that game. Because believe me, rook against rook, in these Title Tuesdays, somebody wins. That's how it always goes down. But usually not in a grandmaster game. I will say that. So that's the fair result. Vishnu Prasanna up there playing against Hikaru. Let's flip the board. Always got to look from Hikaru's perspective. He's at 32.45 as well. I mean, Hikaru's Blitz rating tends to fluctuate anywhere between 31.50, on his worst days. God forbid Hikaru has a bad day. Rated 31.50. Oh, the horror. And up to over 3,300. I think he hit over 33.30 before. So at 32.45, it's definitely on the up and up. He's climbing towards that 3,300. Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be pretty happy with 31.50 being my bad day, I'd be pretty happy. All right, I don't know if this is some sort of theory. I don't know what's going on. To me, look, I'm a simple guy. I see the position. I see that white's down a pawn, and I see that it's very securely protected. So I don't know what's going on because it looks good for Hikaru. It looks like he's just going to go knight c6. I mean, like, yeah, it just looks great. Knight c6 coming up. And who else is playing? Firouzja is playing Wild Bison. And is this yeah, this looks like heavy theory. This knight e4 move, is it a trick? Or is Firouzja ready with queen e1 knight f5? Because believe me, it looks like Firouzja's ready for that move. You don't want to mess with a guy who plays queen e1 immediately and comes up with this. No, no, no. Trust me, that Firouzja knew what was happening there, guys. Firouzja knew what was happening there. Bishop e2. Yeah, guys, for those that were watching the ever entertaining I Am Not a GM Invitational, the Speed Chess Championship, I believe it actually resumes this Thursday, for those curious. So, in case you forgot about that event, it was running, it was going strong, and then the Online Nations Cup happened, so it got basically delayed for that week period where that tournament happened. But it will be back. It will be back. I guess bishop takes. Like you gotta imbalance the structure. Wow, he keeps the bishop. He keeps the bishop. Firouzja showing some class here, respecting the bishops. Yeah, I don't think he's taking that anytime soon. How about Hikaru? Jump back to his game. We were looking at it from Hikaru's perspective, but now flipping it to the white side, let me tell you guys, it doesn't look very good from that. I think I might have to flip back. I can't watch that. There we go. Oh, this looks great now. This move's certainly an idea. I imagine maybe even queen c8 might be a move here. Queen c7 looks decent, but bishop b6 I guess he wants. Wow, Hikaru's going for it. I have to say, this move looks a bit suspicious. Hikaru might make it work, but yeah, I don't know if this is good or not. Probably it's not, but something about this b5 just looks so tempting. But yeah, Hikaru's just going to make this work. I think White's going to try this, but no, Hikaru's got this. He's already up a piece, and he's about to win this. He's going to be up a full rook. It's just can't be good. It cannot be good enough. Rook c8, king f8. Rook even takes h5 is strong. No, this is not good, guys. I think Hikaru's got this. And Firouzja, let's try to pay attention to this endgame here. He's got the two bishops. Let's see if he can work some magic. He's playing strong player here. 2700 Blitz. I have been told, Max and Bowties Live, that the correct pronunciation is Firouzja, by a very reliable Iranian source. What's happening here? Okay, this is an idea, but you definitely want to keep this bishop. You definitely want to keep this bishop here. He's already shown that he's not giving it up to double the pawns earlier, so he's definitely keeping these two bishops. Going to try to work the position. That doesn't mean this isn't a playable move, but I think he's looking to maybe build things up. Now, what he wants is actually a4, b4, b5. So I know he can't get those moves all at once, but if he could, he'd love to get b4, b5, hitting the bishop. And the pawns generally, for white, want to be on light squares because black has a light square bishop. So as soon as you start putting the pawns on dark squares, then this bishop can just cut them all off. So you actually want to, as much as you can, advance the pawns very much on light squares. And ooh, is that a blunder? Knight g2. Knight g2, knight f4. That is definitely a blunder by Firouzja. Yeah, so he just blundered a pawn there. The bishops are still so strong that I'm not sure if black is necessarily going to win this, but he's got two connected pass pawns. Big blunder by Firouzja there. Bishop down to F8. What's going on in Hikaru's game? Wow. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that would end up being so tricky. That was actually my bad. I must have not estimated that position very well, because in Hikaru's game, all of a sudden, this is like anyone can win here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This pawn for that pawn? Okay. Guys, these games are both getting very, very tense right now. Hikaru and Firouzja both not guaranteed wins at all. Not even guaranteed draws. That looks like a strong move. And is he going to push this, or is Hikaru going to give the bishop up? I don't think Hikaru's giving the bishop. Somehow it's just like, no. This, though, he might do. Okay, I think he wants to play for a win. Rook coming to b5. White's playing well. And is he going to put the rook there? I think he wants it here. Oh, rook a4 and then push the pawn. That looked fine. I thought rook a4 was good, but maybe he's not trying to be too ambitious here. Uh-oh, here comes the Naka counterplay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bishop d2 is a check. And I think he finally realized maybe he can just bring his king in. Wait, what? Oh my goodness. What a blunder. Insane blunder. Hikaru's going to win this game. It's unbelievable how he does it. Unbelievable. So impressive, guys. So impressive. Firouzja, we got to jump over here. What the heck is going on? 2 seconds for Firouzja. 3 seconds now. Bishop d1, and black just cannot queen this damn f-pawn. He's trying his hardest. But these bishops are so strong. Maybe he's just going to go like this. Oh my goodness, and Firouzja goes down on time. That 1 second, I mentioned it before. Bishop d3 is coming, though. It's very, very tricky. I think Firouzja blundered here. He has to like take and go bishop e2. He's barely surviving. Oh, we're going back to the Hikaru game. Hikaru blundered his pawn as well? What did I miss, guys? Oh, man. Oh, man. Everybody's blundering. Oh, my goodness. Hikaru's almost beating him. He is beating him. Rook and bishop. Okay. Thank goodness for white. He finally got rook b3 in, but he's beating him rook and bishop against rook and bishop. What's going on here? No. Now I think Vishnu Prasanna's got a hold of this position. But it's scary, man, when Naka starts pre-moving fast. Oh, rook check. Oh, king d3, there was rook h3, unfortunately. No tricks for black here. Bishop f6, bishop g5. Yeah, now I think it's a lot closer to simply being 50 moves. Yeah, rook b3 and king there, and I think we have our draw. Naka tried. Honestly, I thought Naka was going to win that. He so consistently does that. Oh, I think these games might be done. I don't know if there's any games still left. Yeah, we got 10 rounds today, guys. What's going on? Oh, are these the next games? Round 4. Wow. That Hikaru game went so long, I think it was one of the last games of the round. There we go. We're on to round 4. And if I am not mistaken, guys, we are going to have a break after round 4. We are going to take I think a 5-minute break after this game. So there are the standings for those curious. Azeri Chess. I haven't got full confirmation on who that is. I would guess that it's Mamedov. There's a number of strong Azeri players it could be, though. I know that Gogiev or Gogiev is, that's Anton Korobov from Ukraine. And I know that because I lost to him in Title Tuesday recently. So, but wow, this is a different top of the table than I think we were expecting. Although it definitely extends, as you can see, further and further down. And you can see MVL 3 out of 3. So the tie breaks are a little different. It's not organized by highest rating. It's organized by who has the better tie break. So there's still a lot of your favorite players who have 3 out of 3 and are just a little further down the table. But in any case, let's check out MVL's game. Speaking of the guy, because he's just played the move Rook G8. I think we all need to respect that move. Rook G8. He really wants G5, G4. There it is, guys. There it is. A very aggressive approach. And I think that white wants to meet G4 with F4. Is that right? Takes knight H5 though, and black is getting a lot of pressure there. It seems. How dangerous is this move? Is the question. How dangerous is knight B6? Did Ali Reza win? No, he lost. He flagged at the last game. So he actually lost. So knight there, rook B8. Honestly, I think you can just take on D7. I feel like knight takes D7 and just trying to trade the pieces works well for white, but this is dangerous. This is dangerous. Why did he play knight there, guys? Because he wanted to play this without allowing F4. So if he takes this, bishop b5, I don't know. I can actually still see this being a good position for white. He doesn't have to take it. Of course, I don't think he will. That's a very, very nice move from MVL there. I think as white, you probably have to take that and try to get the bishop out to h3 and into f5. It's very difficult to make work, though. What's black trying to do? Knight takes e4, of course. Also knight g4. There are some ways that a king on h1 can be checkmated in these types of positions. He finally does take that, and he goes bishop h3. There we go. This is what I was saying. I think you got to do that. Get that bishop to f5. Maybe this rook over to g1. And bishop a7 is actually a really funny looking move, but seems to be a threat. I think MVL does not have a good position here. Bishop a7 comes to mind. Bishop f5 is a great looking move, though. Knight g4 here. b7. Okay, wants some space for the king. Makes a lot of sense. Bishop a7, rook a8. Still, he's fine. After queen takes b7, I mean, the king has some room to run, and the rook at least is safe on a8. So he might try queen takes b7 and try to get a rook down to c8. But MVL is going to take and go rook a8. Yep. And where's the counterplay? Where's the counterplay? Rook g2. Man, all these games in Title Tuesday are very, very close, very critical. Rook g1. Yep. Well, honestly, I have to say that young Capablanca here is impressing. I think he's playing a great game. This other game we had up, MSB2. I'm not sure exactly who that is. I think the general consensus is that it's Matthias Bluebaum from Germany. I'm not sure if it's a public account or not, but as far as I know, I'm pretty sure that's Bluebaum. Kirill Kliukin also appears to have a decent position, but the issue is this move knight f3. He had all the pressure on c6, so much pressure that he could actually take one of the pieces from c6 and move it back, perform a defensive task guarding f2, and say, look, you're still losing this. So is he going to go rook e6, or he's going to take this? But I thought after queen c6 that this is just going to be a good position for white. I thought this would be a good position for white. Okay, and he's got a check down here somewhere. Oh, hang on, rook there and takes. What's going on here? It's a free piece, man. It's a free piece. Wow, look at that. That's the conclusion of that game, that's for sure. Let's see what MVL can do here, because white is still playing fantastic. Has to be knight takes e4, no? Yeah, he's done it. So bishop takes e4 is a game-winning threat before king e7. Now, at least there's f6 after bishop g5. He still might play it. But then I think MVL does have winning chances there. Bishop g5, f6 is still in the position. Wow, MVL's just taking those pawns. He doesn't care. Now f6, rook a7. Oh, rook a7. Throw in that check. Force the king to the back rank. That was such an important check, in my opinion. So he plays it now. It's still decent, but think of it this way, guys. If you had played rook a7 here, there's no way to block. The king has to go like here, and then you get bishop check, and here, and like bishop. Yeah, I mean, this is like going to be a mate. You know what I mean? This has to be a mate somewhere. But you guys get the point. Like, this for sure is winning for white. So bishop h4, I do not like that move. And now you can see takes and knight e4, and the counterplay is really, really checking in. Probably just pushing. Oh no, hang on. The bishop covers. What am I saying? Bishop does cover. Takes. Rook a7, king over. The h-pawn's running, but so is the d-pawn. How do you stop just d4, d3? Oh, sorry, d4, I guess bishop c4 is always on. So he wanted to set this up. That's his trick. Knight d4. Endlessly tricky, man. Takes, there's knight d4. So good. And e2, and that is pinned. Rook takes g3 is a threat. Wow, great game by MVL. Holy smokes. Rook g1 or rook e3, both win on the spot. MVL, fantastic game, I thought. Just counterattacking, staying in there. Although, if I think back, I think that rook a7 instead of bishop a4, or bishop takes h4, was absolutely the winning try for white. Speaking of winning for white, this looks winning for white. I don't think we need to spend any more time on this game. What about some of the other games going on right now? I mean, I'll just check all of them, I suppose. Here you go. That one was a draw. And actually, is this one just a draw? No, it's a win. Wow, just in time. Just in time. One tempo. One tempo. That's all it takes in these endgames. Yeah. I believe this is probably a win. Now that you have this here. Yeah, this should be a win. So you have to be careful, but the timing works out perfectly. Yeah, now king. Well, king there would have been easier. You might lose on time here. It's an interesting endgame. Actually, they're quite fascinating. These endgames where you have the wrong color bishop and you're sort of waiting to take the guy's pawn because you have to get the exact right position. So he did this to stop king there. That forces king here. And then I was thinking king here. King here. And obviously the king is trying to get there. And something like bishop check. King a7. And the king can't go here. Has to go away. And then we get this. Meanwhile, our bishop's covering the pawn. So yeah, I believe it is winning. But those are sometimes quite fascinating endgames. But it looked like this one was easier than it looked for white. All right, I believe we are at the end of round 4, and so I think we have a break now, guys. I think we have a break. There should be a 5-minute break. These are the standings. As you can see, I scroll down, and the list of people on 4 out of 4 it goes on and on and on. So usually I don't pay too much attention to the standings at this point. I mean, you guys can see them for yourselves, but I only go into details about who's actually playing for first place after a few more rounds as we start to see who is maintaining a perfect score. Because right now there's 934 players, guys. 934 players coming up to 1,000, and we are taking a short break here. So yeah, we'll be back in a couple of minutes with the next game. It'll be round 5. And yeah, we'll see who actually starts to pull away in this tournament, guys. But stay right where you are. We'll take a very, very short break and be right back with the very next round of May 12th edition of Title Tuesday. So stay where you are, guys. I'll be right back, refill the drinks, and we'll get into round 5. All right, guys. Hello, hello. I think we're about to get right back into the action here. So thought I would rejoin forces with you, with all y'all in chat. Hope you guys are enjoying. We are not even halfway through, so we still got lots of action left. We had Firouzja in here. He lost the game on time earlier, so that was, you know, drama. You don't see Firouzja losing on time too much, but this 3+1 time control is unforgiving. Unforgiving. We have, as you can see here, I'm just sort of going down the list. Revnov, actually, Nikolai Naritsin, Canadian IM, shout out there. That's what happens when you got a Canadian commentating the show. I'm going to notice a Canadian flag or two because, believe me, there's not that many that do well on Title Tuesday. So, as you can see, we reached the bottom of the perfect scores. 4, guys. 4 out of 4, and there's 40 people with that score right now. So we'll see how much that shrinks in the next couple rounds. We will see how much that shrinks. Some of your favorite players, I hope, are still there, but also 3.5 points chasing just behind. There's a huge number of players there. So, hey, Smucker. Hey, Foggy. Kimmy, how you doing? Danielle Queen, what's up? BJH, I said come in with a resub there on the Chess.com Twitch channel. I think the game's just started. Here we go. Let's get one of the games up. Arvin, I think this is Arvin Chittambaram from India. So let's have a look at his game. Knight F3. He's gone for the well, in the end, it's actually going to be the Alpine. I don't know who Spartacus 1975 is. Maybe it says in the profile, but I'm not too sure. Knight B4. Interesting. I don't think I'm too familiar with this move, right? Because normally it's knight B6. What's up with this? Takes, knight C2. And I'm assuming there's like knight C3, knight A1, knight B5, and like some sort of mate. But white seems to know what he's doing, right? So I don't know. If you guys were playing a GM and he seemingly blundered knight C2, would you take it? Be honest. I wouldn't go near it. I wouldn't go near it. Knight C3. I mean, now the rook's not trapped. Rook E1, though, is not possible. Because that really will be a fork. He's probably going to move the bishop. I don't know. Somewhere out here. Bishop G5 to H4 to G3 is not crazy. But Bishop F4 appears to be the move. Unless, is he just going straight for this? Looks like he might be. Or even A3 next. Even A3 next. He's really thinking about how to take that back. I suppose knight takes and getting this knight back to C6 is very reasonable, or simply knight takes to guard this pawn, and this knight can still return to D5. 2 options there. But did he really do that to maintain his castling privileges? I find that surprising. I have to say, white's position looks good. He's also up a minute on the clock. Looks very nice so far. Okay, how about Vladimir Onishuk? Perfect score. And he's playing that Canadian we spoke of, Nikolai Naritsin, member of the Canadian Olympic team. 2,500 plus FIDE. Looking to push for the GM title. Did I get my hair cut? What kind of question is that? My hair looks like a bird's nest. Just like usual. It actually is really, really long right now. I'm like you guys. I'm suffering like the rest of us. I'm in dire need of a haircut. Pretty much anyone who has, you know, like a brother, you know, family members that can cut hair, or if you cut your own hair, power to you. But I do not trust myself cutting my own hair, so I am out of luck. What's the format of the tournament? 3+1 time control, 10 rounds. We're currently in round 5, and prizes at stake. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Queen h4. Okay. And I imagine we'll get a check here. Ooh, knight d4, actually. Okay. Knight f3 is possible, but also knight takes c6. These pieces look very funny to me. I think white has a good position. But this knight can always reroute very easily back into the game. He's looking to get some of these moves in. f4 is the dream. If he can make that happen. Rook d1, I think, might be played here, followed by knight there. And wow, he just goes back. I think he wants f4 once again. Rook d1, though, to stop this looks good. Pressure here, and also knight f3 threatened. So knight g3, knight f3 takes. No, he could play that. He could still do that. I don't think that's so bad. They're going to repeat. He might go back. I'm not sure. He decides to take. Play on. f4. Okay. That's the Canadian fighting spirit. How many players at 4 out of 4? 40. There are 40 players on 4 out of 4, and obviously that is changing as I speak. How about our other game? It's sort of evened up again. White is a little bit better, but not a lot. The time is evening up slowly. So we definitely got a lot of players on 4 out of 4 right now who are not, let's say, not the most recognizable. How about Gawain Jones? Is he on 4 out of 4? No, he's on 3.5. Gawain has started to play on Chess.com a little bit more recently. I actually played him in a long Blitz match, like 20 games. Long for my standards. I know we got some warriors, playing on Chess.com all the time to play much longer matches. But for me, 20 Blitz games is a long match. Rook d2, and I think he's handily winning this game. Is he going to go for rook here, or is he going to take and play king d7? King d7, very nice move, guys. Minimizing counterplay, and I think if you take, I want to say that this should be a winning endgame for black, but I actually don't know. I don't know. It's 4 against 3, so I want to say that it's more likely a draw, but the fact that that king got all the way in there, I'm not sure that's a good thing for white. This is actually tricky. What do you guys think? Is this going to be a win or a draw? I think if black gets f5 in, basically, after king e3, then I think it's winning. Because if you play g3, yeah, I think it's probably going to be winning here. If you play g3, the king gets in here. He's waiting for white to go there, and then he's going to hit him with f5. That's why white did this move, by the way. Now g5 here may also be winning because that king has to protect that pawn. And you may be saying like, oh, is this such a big deal? But that extra pawn over there is actually stopping king d5. So the fact that black was up a pawn is extremely important. f4 is happening, completely winning. Very nice. Nice technique there by Mr. Gawain Jones. Okay, pawn takes, and what's happening over here? Another messy game. Knight f7 wants to happen. Yep, knight f7. So it's knight takes h6, rook a3, or is he going to start with rook c3? Rook c2. It's a funny looking move. Oh, sorry. Maybe he didn't want... No, actually, he had knight g4. I was going to say maybe he didn't want to see rook h8, but yeah, I would have started by just taking that pawn. Black is actually making some progress here. Knight e4, the rook coordinates. I like it. Oh, be very careful you don't let that happen. Very careful. Is this king going to try to sneak out and blunder knight e4? No. He's getting low on time. That's why I'm saying that. It's 5 seconds for black, but white has literally 1 second. When you're playing with 1 second increment, it's so hard to survive these. The king has to move at some point, right? Is black just going to try to advance the pawn? Whew. It is so stressful, guys, playing with 1 second increment. This pawn's not hanging. You're going to try to... Ooh, I'm not sure I like this for black, though. That pawn's hanging. The knight comes to f5. No, I think white is the favorite here all of a sudden. Rook d5 might have been a bit better. Oh, huge blunder there. Wow. He did not find knight e6. Holy smokes, guys. The blunders are just all over the place. Knight b5 looks decent. And he won by timeout. Oh my goodness, that's 3+1 for you guys. That is 3+1. Nothing goes the way you think it's gonna go. And how about Dubov? Okay, these games are all finished. So we got some 5 out of 5s to report, but I guess we'll do a full recap maybe at the end. Are these games still going? Wow, looks like this game was... Wow, what a blunder. Little peasant with the black pieces. Rook there. He was thinking he's just going to take it. Rook h6 played. And rook check and takes. Is actually crazy. And black wins the endgame. Oh my gosh. That is painful. I know we didn't see it live, but I was just going over there, saw the result, and man, you gotta feel for Maxime. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. Okay, there are a few games left here. Yeah, this is one that's still going. It's trying to find a live game. And wow, we really enjoyed that last 2 moves there. I'm glad we found that game. Here we go. So pay attention to this. King e6 now. Oh, king e6. So the reason that this is such a tricky endgame. Oh, king there and rook there. The reason it's such a tricky endgame, guys, is that anytime you trade the rooks, it's 100% winning. Almost doesn't matter where the kings are. So I'll just say here that something like king there would be quite strong. It's not winning, let's say, by force, but it's very tricky. It's very tricky. So if you play rook here, anytime you trade rooks, this is a win because this king is going to gain opposition and just walk over and take that pawn. And if the rook goes down here and attacks the pawn, you can check, and at least you can play this position where you try to play king f6 or try to give another check, and you can just be tricky. You can be tricky. It's not that it's winning, but you have good chances. So anyhow, I think are we on to the next round? There we are. Let's get these games up. I don't want to bore you guys with games that are already finished. Don't want to bore you guys with games that are already completed. Now I will bring up the standings to show you guys here as we scroll down. How many people have 5 out of 5? 18. So it used to be 40. Now it's down to 18, and you can see that number is shrinking as we speak. Just scroll up here so you guys can see. Little Peasant, he upset Maxime Vacher-Lagrave. That is, of course, Alejandro Ramirez on 5 out of 5. That might be one of his best starts in a while. I don't know his overall record, but 5 out of 5 is a fantastic start for pretty much anyone here. Yapi 2, that's Jordan van Vreest from the Netherlands. Vladislav Kovalev, I hinted at him being a very exciting, fun player to watch earlier. And look at that, he's at 5 out of 5. Srinath, I think that might be Srinath Narayanan from India. And of course, Alexander Bortnik. Alexander Bortnik up there, 5 out of 5. What a strong player. So I'm sure we'll see more of his games. And we've got one of his on the screen. We've got one of his on the screen here. Bortnik, he does play this line very, very often. Honestly, guys, I haven't seen knight h5 before. I don't really know what's going on here. What is up with this move? It's so bizarre. Because it's not threatening knight f4? Wait a minute. Did that... Sorry, I'm really, really wondering what the heck's going on with that. It's not threatening anything. It didn't attack anything. It's putting the knight on the side of the board, like, voluntarily. I don't know. It seems strange to me. It seems strange to me. But, nevertheless, he still got his queenside pawns in. Okay, what's this? Andreyka, by the way, is Andrei Esipenko from Russia. Kind of a name that I think was really in the limelight when he defeated Karyakin in World Rapid. I think it was World Rapid that he won. Might have been World Blitz, but I think it was World Rapid. In a fantastic game. He beat Karyakin. I mean, just this young kid, rising star. I haven't heard too much of him since then, but obviously tournaments have also halted for the most part. But I mean, the kid is a incredible talent from Russia, and it's nice to see him in here 5 out of 5 as well. Off to a good start. I have to be honest though, I I am never too sure about these positions. It always feels like basically if white can just achieve development with getting the bishop out, he's going to be doing fantastic in this position. Black needs to go for some quick counterplay, but generally I feel that white is going to be slightly better. If he can achieve sort of like he gets everything developed and gets the pieces out, and I talked about counterplay, look how quickly it came knight b4, hitting the bishop, also hitting the c2 pawn, which means that the queen couldn't really go anywhere without dropping c2. That's why he played bishop b1. White is threatening the b5 pawn. Black is threatening the e4 pawn. But if white can avoid losing a pawn here, I think his bishops are going to rule the world. All right, let's again check back with this game. What a mess. Guys, I seriously don't understand what's going on. Somebody in the chat, all the super GMs in the chat, can you guys help me out? What the heck is this maneuver? Knight h5 to put this knight on f6? What's this guy doing? This knight on h5, I'm just wondering. The guy's like unemployed or something. What's going on here? MBM, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It stops bishop f4. But this bishop has other squares to go to. That's why I was so curious why this move was so important. But listen, I'm not going to knock it. It's working for him. A2 is falling here. D3 is also falling. And white is probably, MBM, white is probably like, damn, I wish I could play bishop f4, man. This is just killing me here. And the knight on h5 is just troll face. Probably some rook d1. G4 does, let's say, trap the knight, but at the moment it hangs this knight. So just keep in mind, something to look out for. Kind of an insane looking move, G4. But let's imagine queen c2. G4 to me seems to win a piece. Kind of insane looking, but does look like it wins a piece. So keep that in mind. And we might see h3 here, threatening g4. But now, we see it's revealed. The knight actually is going to enter the game from the side of the board. h6. Very even position. I'm going to try to find another. Again, we have this one, of course. Two bishops. And Esipienko is very, very low on time here. 16 seconds ticking down. He's no stranger to the fast time controls. I'm just going to get another game up in the meantime. This is Kovalev against Little Peasant. But this one looks the most interesting at the moment. Got to be queen takes. Yep. Is he going to take and take on d6? Or queen d1. I don't know. For some reason, I like queen d1 here. Queen h2. Yeah, sure. He's trying to keep the queens on the board. I like the idea. Bishop f4. He's going to play queen h5 after that. Really don't know who's better here. Because if queen h5 here, which he has to play, white trades queens. I think it works very well for him. Queen h2 back. Is he going to go queen h2 back? Then there's h5. Yeah. All of a sudden, that queen on h2 doesn't look good. b2 is hanging. g2 is under pressure. I'm not sure this is so easy anymore. But f3. Oh my goodness. f3 is actually very strong, isn't it? Queen g3 coming. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now black's in trouble. I take it all back. Queen there. Bishop f8. Oh, bishop f8 hurts. Oh. Nasty, and he's going to go down here. The time pressure is too much. And Little Peasant wins again. Alejandro Ramirez. Unreal performance. 6 out of 6 so far. Let's get another game up here. Of course, in the meantime, let's bring this one back. It looks like it may go towards a draw if the queens are exchanged, though. Yeah, queens exchange. Let's say it's looking drawish. This one, drawn by repetition. Interesting. What about some of the other games here? Yakov Norwitz, Yakov N. 5 out of 5. Also having a fantastic tournament. Queen d5 check. And somehow you want to defend this pawn. I don't know if he's going to manage it. Maybe. No, he's not going to take a draw here, is he? he's going to play on? Takes and b5? Or he's going to go for this pawn? Okay, wait. Take that. I don't know if it works. I'm just like spitballing here. Can it be taken? Maybe I just lost. Maybe I just lost him the game. I think I just lost him the game. It's possible I just ruined it for him. c4, king c3, and push this pawn. Take and go for the pawns over here. So I think black should probably try... interesting. Yeah, if black goes here, a4, so strong. Yep. Hands up over here. I just lost the game for black. It's not my game, so I don't feel as bad, but, you know, he listened to me. Poor guy. It's completely winning for white. Yeah, and the king just sits there on g5. There we go. And a lot of the other games that we saw were drawn, which means that the amount of players with perfect scores is rapidly decreasing. Let's keep checking out the final games of this round, and then we will take a good look at the standings. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I need my Gatorade, and I'm not even playing in the tournament, guys. I need to hydrate just to watch these games. Keep the heart rate good, you know. Keep the hydration up. Respiratory system functioning at max capacity here. So we're in round 6 right now. Just a couple more games. Here we go. Here's one. All right, and I will bring up the standings now. So 6 out of 6, we can fit them all on one screen. Anwar, we saw him just beat Andrei Sipienko. We saw Alejandro Ramirez win his game. Vidit is also on 6 out of 6. And then we got some international masters really outperforming. Arvind is also 6 out of 6 as well. We've checked his games. Bortnik, and obviously a huge pack of players, is chasing with 5.5. And I think, do we have one more game? No, that's it. All right, in round 7, guys. Let's take a look up at the top. Is Anish Giri also probably with 5.5 points? Hikaru 5.5. Giri might be at 5.5. Let's take a look at Giri's game. I see it right up the top here. Giri, and then who were the other players? I'm surprised that these, like, where's Vidit's game? Why do I have to work to see Vidit's game? Shouldn't he be right up at the top? Isn't he leading the tournament? Hey, where's Vidit? All right, I'm gonna watch it from here. There we go. All right, so we got Vidit and we got Anish Giri. Hey, Hugh, what's up? And it looks like a Banco. We're being treated today. Remember, guys, it's very difficult for me because the join button is right here, and I'm always tempted to click it, and I have to remind myself, don't join, come on. Relax. Sometimes you see some blunders in Title Tuesday, and all you want to do is click join to get in there and rectify the situation, you know? Show them how it's done, but I gotta hold back here. Let's check the 2 games. So Tampa Chess against Giri. Let's flip the board here. See what it feels like to be attacked by Tampa Chess. He's got this system that he likes to play, and to be honest, it's quite effective. I'll just run briefly through the opening. So yeah, he basically plays this closed Sicilian system, and you can see Giri, I mean, tons of pawns. He's ready to attack on the queen side. Black, however, is full force on the king side. Very scary. He's going to take there, and I don't know, is he getting some sort of bishop d6 next? I'm not sure. I think just pawn takes is the way. Knight d4, I believe he's going to go for. So if knight e4, bishop takes f5, and yeah, I think he's saying that, look, you lose a pawn here, man. That's what he's trying to say. There's some pressure on a c6 knight, but if you move that knight, there's knight d4. So not something I think he has to worry about. So Giri maybe surviving out of the opening there. Meanwhile, Vidit is playing against the Banco Gambit. And I think he's just going to remain up a pawn here. Something like bishop g5. Yep. There are 10 rounds. That's correct. There are 10 rounds. And we are only about to finish round 7. And by the way, after this game, we have another 5-minute break that will be coming up. So just a reminder. Queen d2. I mean, it seems fine. This is a nice knight. Don't get me wrong. It looks good. But white is up a pawn, and that's just the one thing about the Benko. It seems sort of like silly to keep repeating it, but the whole point of the Benko, is that you give up a pawn for counterplay. And so anytime that you start to say, hey, wait a minute, I like black's position, I like that knight, you just have to remind yourself, white's up a pawn. However much you like black's position, that the pawn don't lie. Pawn don't lie. White's going to play like b3, knight b5, rook e1, and, you know, basically if black's counterplay plays off, he first has to win a pawn to be back to even, and then usually if he wins a pawn, he becomes better. But it's hard work to win a pawn. It's hard work. I feel like b3 is definitely a move. The reason I think he's not going for it is this. And I guess that makes sense. I initially thought that there might have been some sort of trick, but there is the knight back to b4 or c7. So that's why he's not playing b3. But if he could get away with b3 and knight b5, believe me, he would do it. Knight b5 here, actually. Rook takes, knight takes d6. Wait a minute. Why not that? Knight b5 right now. Okay, he does my b3. I'm not sure he should. Takes there. Maybe he wants this. And take that pawn. And then knight g5 happens. I think that's what he's going for, guys. So as I said, I mean, it's hard work to win a pawn. It is hard work to win a pawn. Yep, and if he doesn't do it, I think the knight comes into b5. Yeah, knight b5 here. This is what I was calling for, guys. I do not like this for black all of a sudden. I think Vidit is gonna... I think he's gonna hit 7 out of 7 right now. Let's check out Giri's game again. I have to keep flipping this. Let's go. Here, so he won that pawn. And honestly, after winning that pawn, I think the position does open up and become much easier to play. For Giri, it looks scary getting attacked like that, but after winning that f-pawn, bringing the bishop back to g6, I think Giri is actually incredibly comfortable here. Hey, so much so that he's saying, look, let me snag a pawn as well. Let me snag a pawn as well. Bishop c5. How is that not the move? Has to be played. Whoa, rook g5. I didn't even see that. Talk about cross map awareness. I thought bishop c5, pin that knight. But the thing is, he's still got this move after this. So he's coasting here. Bishop there wins the game, I think, because queen takes, you take here, and this is hanging. So Giri is going to be cruising to a victory here, guys. He's going to be cruising to a victory. Giri moving to 6 points. Yeah, so he's up a full piece. We'll leave him to convert that. Meanwhile, over here, these knights are actually just dominating the board. So much so that the guy wants to sacrifice, but knight takes d6 is happening. f7's hanging. d-pawn is queening. Knight is practically hanging in the corner. Rook check, by the way. There is no bishop f8 because rook takes there, so you're going to have to lose another pawn. And then the pawn just gets escorted down the board, so... yeah, this is over. Vidit moving to 7 out of 7. If he can convert this, I think you push this, bring your rook there to sacrifice. That should be GG. Yep, just d7 here. What's he going to do? d7, bishop there. Oh, I didn't even notice the rook was hanging. What's he planning after this? Rook there, rook b1. And if rook there, bishop takes d7. So he's planning rook there, and then if bishop there, you can just take it. Yep. There we go. Nicely done by Vidit. He moves to a perfect score, 7 out of 7. And let's see. I think there's more games. Hikaru and Alejandro. Wow, that is a big matchup here. And I think Hikaru is... yeah, king takes c5. He's winning. He is winning. Just c5. Rook a1, actually. Rook a1 just does the trick. Nicely done by Hikaru. I think the little peasant is going to suffer his first defeat of the entire event. Still, 6 out of 7 is an incredible score. This game also ended. And these guys have 5.5 as well. Big matchup here. White seems to be a lot better. Take with the pawn. Yep, here comes f6. f6 or even just running the pawns. g4. I know it looks crazy, but g4, h4, g5. Yeah, very, very convincing stuff. Rook takes a6. Knight f4 is going to happen, but Okay, there is rook g7, rook g4. Yep. Yep. Okay, doesn't really matter where you put the king, I think. Knight e2 maybe again. Oh no, rook takes c4 is happening. What a strong move. Wow. Hitting this, and that. So just winning literally every single thing on the board. And although I think you can play this, I think he's gonna I think he's just gonna take it. And yep, this should be a win. Run that pawn and then win the c pawn. King f3, and Azeri Chess should win this game. Is he going up the board? H4, he's going to bring the king this way if he's checked from behind, otherwise block with the rook and basically do the same pattern up the board, and he is going to resign. He is going to resign. Very nice technique there. A draw in this game. Let's see. What are the other? There's still some more games going on here. Oh, look, our friend. Is that Amadan? Amadan. Yes. The Komodo dragon. Still playing. There he is. The Irishman. And that is a checkmate on the board. Oof. And we have one game still going here. Reminder, guys, that we have a break taking place when this round is over. There's only a couple more games, so I will just show you guys the standings. It's becoming very clear now. I think there's only 2 players that could possibly have a perfect score, and there they are. Vidit and Anwar from Kazakhstan. Bortnik, 6.5 out of 7. Jordan Van Veist, 6.5 out of 7. Hikaru, 6.5 out of 7. I've been told that Azeri Chess is Mamedyarov. So if that's the case, then Mamedyarov, 6.5 out of 7. Galwayne Jones, 6.5 as well. And there you go. There's a very big contingent there at the top. Black ended up winning on time. And on the board, though. Impressive stuff. And there we go. I think that is the end of round 7. There are 10 rounds in this tournament, 3+1 time control. So we are definitely going to be going to take a just very short break, guys. But stay right where you are, because honestly, this Vidit and Anwar matchup, which I think we're guaranteed in the next round, is going to be pretty spicy. Somebody's going to have to lose. Or I should say, somebody is going to have their perfect streak ruined. And maybe we'll see someone go for a perfect score in this Title Tuesday. We got 10 rounds. 10 rounds, so an extra one, actually, from what I'm used to. Last time I commentated was 9 rounds. So still got 3 more games of chess. And Vidit and Anwar leading the tournament. We will be right back. All right, guys. Hello, hello. We are in the next round, and the games have just started. The games have just started. We got the matchup we've all been waiting for. Vidit against Anwar. These guys have perfect scores. One of them will not. Actually, maybe both of them won't after this. You never know. Are we going to get a draw? We're getting into the money rounds. The last couple rounds will very much affect where these players are going to finish. Let's also bring up this game in the background. Hikaru Nakamura with the... There we go. With the black pieces, he is going to be playing right now against Gawain Jones, I mentioned, who's been playing a little more on Chess.com lately. And this is a big matchup. Gawain has had a fantastic tournament so far, just grinding out those small advantages as he likes to do. Hikaru, let's see if he does well in this position. It's sort of counterintuitive. You often feel positionally that, wait a minute, white has this backwards pawn there. Black has a great square on d5, but usually the more you look at these positions, you realize actually this is a very uncomfortable pin. f6 to get rid of it. I think that's why he just played queen e3. He wants to be hitting the e6 pawn. And you can use these squares, but at the same time, white can often try to jump into those dark squares, and this bishop is such a pain in these positions. So a3, b4, getting the pawn up there. Also, knight a4 to c5 is going to be coming in. Hikaru has to waste a move, quote unquote, waste a move with rook e8 just to move that knight. So very solid for black, but I find in classical that these positions are usually very, very comfortable for white to play. But more in those blitz time controls, faster chess, it becomes a lot more manageable for black because it's very difficult to play accurately with white, and it's a type of position that visually looks very comfortable for black to play. So let's see how he handles it. But right now, I think both players are probably satisfied with their positions, and we do see that a3 move, planning for b4, bishop here, so strong, so much so that yes, Hikaru has to play f6 at some point if he wants to develop his pieces, use the d file. It's just a must do. Has to happen. Knight a4. Is he going to go for stuff like this? I imagine he's got to take, and I think he might actually consider bishop f4 here. I don't know if you can take that pawn as black, but taking and then bishop f4, I think is what he's going to go for. e5, and you might want to drop that bishop back all the way, or you can take first. You could take, yeah, so bishop d6 makes more sense. And Hikaru's unraveling here. Suddenly there's a g file to use. There's an h4 pawn hanging. And I'm not sure I like the configuration of Gawain's pieces. b5 is happening. Now, here, that's just a move you almost don't consider. It's so risky. So risky, b5. So I think he's just going to go for the pawn. King b8, rook g8, and he's looking to put pressure. Put pressure on the king side. So I think Hikaru has a great position here. I think he's the favorite. He's the favorite to win that position. Meanwhile, over here, what has happened? Slightly better for white. So Vidit has a nice position here. Only slightly better, though. Black also has 30 extra seconds, which, let's not forget, those 30 seconds and 3+1, mind you, not 3+2, are very valuable, at least in my opinion. White wants to play e3 to just, safeguard that pawn. But I think he was hesitating because when you play e3, you also do strand that bishop out on h6. But for the moment, I think he's saying, look, that bishop does more good than harm. It keeps the king boxed in there, and there's not really a way you can attack it. Bishop there, maybe hinting at the fact that he's trying to play g5. I don't know why it doesn't just hang the pawn. I think you can just take it. I don't see why not. Take the bishop first, even, and then take d6. Take d6. Bishop takes there, and then just get in with rook here because you can't go there. You get mated on the spot. Also, if you take, he's got to take with the pawn. That also looks very good for Vidit here. I think rook d7 is a decent move. Yep, he's going to get in there. 33 seconds, and I think the king should walk out like that. White sort of has a pawn majority over here. Black's going to try to push that c-pawn, though. Does this king get there in time? Bishop back. Still, that pawn is very, very fast. Not to be underestimated. Bishop f6, still tricky. I think you can run the king. I think you can run the king. Still, I'm not sure this is exactly the conversion I'd be looking for, but I think you can run the king. What's going on over here? Hikaru looks totally winning. I haven't seen the material, but it's just, I looked at the time, 5 seconds. Plus, Hikaru looks like he has 2 pieces for the rook, although he's dealing with a nasty pin right now. All Hikaru needs is one very tricky move to handle. And with 5 seconds left, I think white may be in trouble. h4, knight takes h3. That looks tricky. I don't know if it's good, though. I don't know if it's good. Very tricky position. Rook there. Something. Oh, and Hikaru went for something. Look, and with 1 second ticking down. That's what's so tricky about these positions. And look at Hikaru go. Beautiful. Man, he makes it happen every time. And there's a pin here by black, meaning that if the knight moves, you're going to trade the rooks. Yeah, and although he loses this pawn, he's going to keep this pawn. And I think the king is going to get in there. f5 and knight d6. I imagine f5, knight d6. With 3 seconds. Can Gawain hold this position? That would actually be incredibly impressive. a4. a4 by Hikaru. Wow. I would have played knight d6, f5 there, but... And in Vidit's game, by the way, it was drawn. It was drawn. So both players have 7.5, which means everybody is going to be piling up. Everyone's going to be piling up. It's going to be a huge amount of players tied with 7.5 points, and I will get into the standings as soon as some of these games wrap up here. f2, knight g4. f1 equals knight? That would just be insane. f2, knight g4. That's the trick. He wants knight e3 forking the king and pawn. So I imagine this is definitely winning for Hikaru. He always has knight takes b4, and he's going to sack there and just push. Yep. Well done. That is going to be a win. Naka. Impressive, as always. Wow. Clutch win for Hikaru Nakamura. And let's continue to check the games here. Bortnik, he is very close to the top of the standings, and so is his opponent. Although Bortnik is up a bishop right now for 2 pawns. This should be decisive. Also, not that it really matters. Actually, now it really does. That bishop and pawn are the same, or the bishop is the same color as the queening square there for that a-pawn, which is going to be very valuable. Very valuable. Whoa. Had the moves just lag there for a sec. Just play through them real quick. They all came so quickly. There we go. And like I said, this bishop being the same color means you can trade rooks. That is a privilege here. That is a privilege. So yes, I definitely expect this to be winning. Rook over there. We're back. You're going to slowly move up the board. Rook c3, king up. Yep. And he's sort of got himself in a bit of a tricky position here. Bishop d3. Well done. Well done, Bortnik. Now he's solved it. a5, and he is going to win by resignation. Resignation on the board. Are these other games done? Did Kovalev win? Wow. Wow, Kovalev lost to Vincent Kamer. Very impressive performance there. And yeah, let's take a look at those standings. So I was saying Bortnik, Vidit, Anwar, Hikaru, Mamadyarov, and Tioloko. I'm not sure who that is. Maybe someone has some inside info for me. But those guys are all 7.5. Firouzja. We sort of lost track of Firouzja at some point as he messed up a game earlier and lost on time. But he's won every single other game since then. And look at him. He's back near the top of the tables. All right, we're going into round 9. 2 more rounds. This is the penultimate round here. Hikaru against Vidit. This is going to be a hype one. Let me check those standings again, make sure we get all the games that are important. Bortnik, Anwar, Azeri Chess. Yeah, we haven't really taken a look at Mamajarov's game, so let me try to find him. Here we go. Here we go. Let's make sure to check out Mamajarov here. So Mamajarov and the Hikaru game, both of those seem very, very exciting. And Tio Loco, we haven't looked at his games either, so we'll just bring that one up here for reference. But all right, yeah, let's stay here for a sec though. Mamajarov. Wow, I don't 2376 FIDE for that Spanish guy. I haven't heard of him. He's having the tournament of his life though, evidently. Bishop e2, okay. Takes. Yeah, might be just castles. H3. The really nice thing about a queen and bishop like this, pinning a knight with a fianchettoed, when your opponent's fianchettoed, is that there's no h6. And it might not seem like a big deal, but usually it's very nice because it means your bishop can just sit there. It's equivalent to that pawn being on h5, and it's always nice to pin a knight when the pawn's on h5. It means you cannot be moved from that position. Knight h4. Now, knight e4 was the plan I think that black had, but after takes f3, he may have to deal with an uncomfortable. I think he might actually still go for that, but moving the bishop back, oh, it really does not look good. White gets to play bishop d3, rook e1, and keep this pressure with no h6. I really think he may be desperate and go for knight e4. Maybe it works. I haven't calculated it, but I think he may do it because moving the bishop back just does not look fun. And obviously, you cannot let white take there. That's way too strong. So looking good for Mamajarov there. He's up a lot of time as well. Hikaru rerouting that bishop to h4. Vidit is up on time here, but that knight on e5 is so strong. Takes. This is that stonewall formation. He's trying to get the bishop there to deal with knight e4. And I imagine Vidit wants to do something like take and knight e4 himself before the bishop gets there. I think that's really important. The question is he worried about losing that pawn on a6? That might be it. I think that he still gets reasonable compensation there. I mean, as black, but a pawn is a pawn. Yep, and he's going to keep it there. Knight b4. That actually looks like it might be a better move than what I was suggesting. Because if this happens, there is no more bishop h4. There is no more bishop h4. Yeah, and now I think he can do the same thing. Now he gets knight e4 without losing the pawn. I think that he just accomplished something very good there. So I think knight b4 is a great move by Vidit. Must be knight e4. I really like this move because, you know, if you take, it seems to help black's bishop. And I'm also preparing f6, which kicks the knight out. So I'm a big fan of knight e4 there, but for some reason he's not playing it. He wants to trade the queens and say, look, bishop h4 is no longer a big issue because I've got knight e4, so you're not pinning me anymore. Back in this Mamajarov game, looks great. I think you guys saw exactly the line I was talking about, f3, and as we can see here, it just works out for white. It just works out because, yeah, no, black can't really play that way. I felt like he was going to get desperate there, but 2 pieces for the rook. I know there's 2 pawns, but this is definitely a good position for Mamajarov here. I think knight takes, keep that bishop pair, and white is the favorite here. Now, Bortnik, however, how's he faring against Tio Loco? Because this guy we haven't seen too much yet. H4. Ooh, I feel like I don't like that move, but at the same time, maybe it's going to be okay. G3 and just sort of be solid. White's got a strong knight on d4, yeah, and he's gone for that g3 idea. If queen h3, there is bishop to f1. I think at some point black has to take this pawn, right? And just, like, he needs some squares for his pieces. At least that's how it feels to me. That's how it feels to me. How are these bishops doing? I think they still look good. King g2, f4 is not possible. Bishop c3 can also be played. King might have to go to to g5. I think I like bishop c3. Feels like the correct move to play. But wow, I didn't even see this one. This one's just very strong. Rook e5, there was bishop c3. The rook e5 was the only way to stop the, or guard the pawn. Now, if bishop takes, it stops rook c8. So that just looks great. He may throw in a check, but the problem is he didn't want to allow king d4, and I understand. You don't want to let this king in. After bishop there, I think he's still maybe concerned about this, but bishop e2 he's going to do. Or d6 even. Not sure. Bishop f6, what a move. He's trying to guard that square and say, look, you take my pawn, my d pawn runs. But black's e pawn is also running as well. I don't know what's happening here. Meanwhile, I know I'm jumping all over the place, guys, but we got 3 exciting games here. Trying to make sure we don't miss too much action in either of them. White seems to be playing very well in this game. Bortnik is hard-pressed to make these tactics work around the king. He's hard-pressed to make them work. Meanwhile, Vidit, looks like Vidit is in trouble potentially. You can even take that and try to get the king in, although it looks unnecessary. You might take this, yep. King there, bishop d2, probably the only try. But I think bishop here is going to win something. Yep. And pawn there, and then takes. So I think Hikaru's going to win this opposite bishop endgame, guys. And Shakhriyar Mamedyarov with the win. He's moving up to 8.5 points. A great event for him so far. Knight f3. Ooh, wait a minute. What the heck is going on here? I don't know what Tia Loco just did. King h2? I mean, I'm struggling. Queen g4. What's going on? Queen h3 takes. King h7? How do you stop mate? Oh, sorry. King h7, there's queen h4. King g7, there's some knight tricks. How annoying is this? What the hell? Bortnik cannot take it, and he can't go to h3? Oh my goodness. Knight c6 and knight e7? This guy's finding everything. Because queen c7, I was like, why can't we just go there? Still, this is very, very tense. Because queen h5, queen h3 is still extremely scary. Rook c8 here. And he's just going to go for it. He's going to go for it. Queen e5. What is it going to be? He's running out of checks? He's running out of checks. There's mate on the board if he can escape these checks. Oh my goodness. There's that check as well. Queen g4. And I feel like this might be a draw. Queen h3. He's going to allow it. He's going to play the endgame. King there, but I think if white hangs out on h1, he should be okay. Is black going to go around? Yes, he is. Oh, white's going this way. Interesting. Does this work? g4 and king g3? No, that can't be good. I think black wins this. Just over. Wow. Man, what a game. It is not easy to beat this guy. Talking about 2,300 FIDE. Man, that's tough. Hikaru won his game as well, as expected in that opposite bishop position. It did not look good. We have Mamedyarov, Hikaru, and Bortnik at 8.5 out of 9. Firouzja, 8 out of 9. Firouzja, I mean, he's done everything he can, right? He's got 8 points out of 9. He's chased after losing one game. And he's leading the pack in the tie for second place. This is actually very funny. Once this happens, there's king there, there's rook g6. It's such a strange position, but you are going to get the queen there. But man, Bortnik had to work hard for that last victory there. The last Grandmaster game going on right now. Is it going to be a win? It feels like a win. Because there's king c6, king there, and king b7. So you start... Oh, okay. Doesn't matter, I guess. But even starting with king b7 looked good. Oh, careful. Good. Check. But what are you going to do now? King there. This is not so easy. This is not so easy at all. You got to go king there. I mean, it's the only try, but... Wait a minute. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Very impressive. Wow. Because he's got this trick, rook a1. and he was winning the rook there. So he found king c6 under time pressure, and there's a8 equals queen. There's rook b8 there. Tons of moves. Very impressive. Is that Wojtaszek? It looks like it. Radzio 1987. I'm sure that that's Wojtaszek. Wow. What a move. King c6. I think it was winning. Guys, we're in the last round. There's going to be some very important games. Bortnik and Hikaru, and Firouzja and Mamedyarov. And let me just bring up the standings in the meantime so you guys can appreciate just how close this event is. Bortnik, 8.5 out of 9. Hikaru, 8.5 out of 9. And Azeri Chess, as I said, Mamedyarov, 8.5 out of 9. These guys are leading right now. But then 8 points out of 9, we have Firouzja, we have Parhamov, Wojtaszek we just saw, Vincent Kamer, Likwang Liem, and Clementi Sichev. I don't know who that is actually. Not too familiar, but let's get back to these games because these are going to dictate the top 3 spots, no question. Some of these other players may catch up in the event, but I think these games are crucial. Hikaru against Bortnik. Hikaru with the black pieces. We're in round 10. It's the last round. Still got 750 players in this tournament. And Firouzja and Mamedyarov. This, I mean, if you think of 2 exciting players to watch, how could you possibly do better than Firouzja and Mamedyarov? I mean, these are 2 of the most exciting players in chess, basically. Yeah, Title Tuesday used to be 9 rounds at some point. It also used to be 10 at some point. So they've sort of changed the parameters around to sort of find the optimal time control, optimal number of rounds, and we've landed on 3+1 and 10 rounds for the moment. So that's what we're going to be going with for this week, and I guess all future weeks, as far as I know, until you hear differently. Trying to keep an eye on both games here. A draw is not a bad result for some of these guys, but remember that Firouzja needs to win. If he draws, it's probably not good enough. He's not going to be anywhere near the prize money. Firouzja has to win, and that would put Firouzja at 9 out of 10 points, which may even not be enough for first place. How insane is that? 9 out of 10 points might not be enough for first. Queen g5? Is that going to be played or not necessary? Yeah, queen g5. So usually the king has to drop back. h6 is just a really typical blunder. Not only does it blunder this pawn, but of course you blunder your queen as well. Let's say if the king goes here and you take the queen, maybe I can take your queen, right? And then you might actually be losing. But the reason this is such a winning tactic is because on king h8, I can play queen takes h6 and take here, and king g8, I take your queen with check. So it's just a good tactic to keep in mind. Anyway, we're back here. Hikaru, knight c5. c4 played to make room for that. And the queen's retreated from g5. So white usually at some point needs to get the move f4 in. It's sort of integral to the attacking game, knight h2 and f4, and take with the queen, something like that. I think we might see knight h2 here. I do. I don't know if he wants to just play it right away because that knight is getting in there. Also, b4 sometimes is played, although right now takes, a5, a4 does look pleasant. And there we go. We see that knight h2 move. Jump over to Firouzja's game. What is happening here? Firouzja has the 2 bishops. There we go, bishop f6, and white is trying to play all over the light squares. And he's got a hanging pawn here, but he's counterattacking the knight, and he's saying, look, you can take the bishop there. I'll take back. This bishop is covering everywhere that knight on d5 could want to go. e3. Of course, the rook's on e1 to defend this all-important tender e2 square. Knight e2 would just be the end of the line for white in any variation. Can allow it. And he's meeting fire with fire. I mean, c6 played, e3. You're going to kick my knight out? I'm going to do the same to you. That's what he's saying. Knight f5. Probably this knight has to retreat at this point. Yeah. And Firouzja, with the 2 bishops here, we may even see bishop c8. There we go. Defending that pawn, keeping the 2 bishops. I love that move from Firouzja. And I think he's got good chances here. Both these guys at a minute 25. Meanwhile, over in this game, 2 minutes to 1 minute. So a big time advantage for Hikaru. And he's sort of like got this rook a7 move to lend support here. It's never clear to me whether f4 actually breaks through, because as soon as it happens, Hikaru is going to reroute a knight faster than you guys can guess to e5. Knight d7, e5 is happening immediately. And he's gone with knight d3. He wants to follow up with knight c4, hitting b2, and taking advantage of the pawns. There's f4. There's f4. It had to happen, right? It's the breakthrough move. This looks very, very tricky still. Because if yeah, this pawn is loose here. Knight g4. So he's saying, look, you can win that pawn. I got king g7 in the end. King g7. And meanwhile, black has counterplay with d2. That's really going to be such an annoying thing to deal with later in this game. Just having to have a rook deal with the threat of that pawn promoting, it's going to be very frustrating. He's trying to kick that knight out. It is going to go to e5, I imagine. Knight a3 just looks a little too offside. Yeah, and that knight goes to e5, as expected. Bortnik down so low on time right now. He's down more than a minute. And the queen goes back, but what's the intention next? That's what's worrying me. a4, oh, annoying. Annoying. That knight wants to go into c4. In fact, you can even do it now. Take here and go back. He's gone back there. I think d2 is a super annoying move. Knight takes a3 also possible. I don't think there are many threats to worry about, but he's doing this, just taking care of that 7th rank. I think Hikaru is the big favorite here. What's going on in this game as well? Firouzja, I prefer his position. He's got the 2 bishops. He's hung on to them this whole game. f5 looks fantastic. There's no knight g5. Knight f7 is so well placed for that. Knight c5, he's even got b6, e4. He's shutting out all the pieces and improving all of his. I think he's playing amazing right now. This move is probably possible. Knight takes queen e8, but knight e5, just starting with a much more direct approach. Firouzja doesn't need to rush here. But this one looks like it may finish first. It looks like it may finish first. Rook e5. Oh, the problem with that 4 seconds, he's just moving his king back and forth. He doesn't have a move. Hikaru now, I think at this point, can basically just... Yeah, he's played king g7. He can make all those slow moves. Bishop takes g4, immediately going to be played. Yep. And now I think Hikaru wants to get that queen to e5. So something like rook g5, queen e5. Okay, and he's going to sack for that. I think Hikaru is winning this. That pawn is loose. Queen d7, also queen e5. Makes a lot of sense. The rook can slide over to c8. But h5, more direct. Wow. That knight, the pawn was pinned to the knight there. I think Hikaru is the favorite. 1 second. Bortnik moved with 0.1 second. That's just incredible. How is he even still playing here? 1.3, rook e5, but Hikaru is so comfortable here. Rook takes there. There's rook takes e4. Hikaru wins, and he's at least tied for first place in Title Tuesday. Is he going to be joined by anybody? Is Mamedyarov going to win this game? Mamedyarov sacked a piece here. If white wins, then it's Hikaru and Mamedyarov sharing first place. But if Firouzja wins, that would mean... Oh, knight takes f5. The position's falling apart for black. If Firouzja wins, that would mean that Hikaru takes clear first place, and Firouzja would get second. Oh, that's a piece. Oh my gosh, what a huge blunder. Bishop g4. He wanted bishop f5, checking the king and taking there. But that is a huge blunder, and that might mean Hikaru Nakamura takes Title Tuesday. And he's just pre-moving, blundering pieces left and right. What an absolute collapse from a star player like Mamedyarov. Wow. And Firouzja, you got to give credit. The kid got 9.5 out of 10. Or sorry, 9 out of 10. And that was after losing a game on time earlier that we actually saw on stream. So he lost that game and he just focused right back up. We got guys losing games and withdrawing, frustration. But Firouzja said, nope, I'm going to focus. He got right back into it, and I think that he just came back and came in second place. He may be tied with someone, and I believe he is, Le Quang Liem. Let me bring up another game here in the meantime, but look at the standings there. Hikaru Nakamura, 9.5 out of 10. Super impressive. He takes clear first place in Title Tuesday, and Firouzja earned him the victory. You got to give it to him. Firouzja beat, on demand, he beat Shakhriyar Mamedyarov, and that actually gave Hikaru the win, so... That's kind of funny. Firouzja, he ended up beating... Who did he beat in the Nations Cup? Didn't Firouzja pull out a victory? And that really helped... the USA win? Win their match and qualify to the finals. And then now Firouzja again helping out Hikaru. So look at that. you know, the camaraderie there. He's got to give a few thank yous over to Firouzja for for all of the help he's given him lately. Team USA and now Title Tuesday. Of course, Firouzja, I'm only joking. He's doing it in his own interest. He came second place, but it turns out to help Hikaru out a lot. So first place, Hikaru Nakamura. Second place and third place, well, tied for second are going to be Firouzja and Lekwang Liem. This is the very last game of the event. But Firouzja, I think, has the better tiebreak, so he will finish in second place according to the standings. But it means that the prize money will be shared. Prize money will be shared. Wow, what a crazy game. Nice. G4. He's winning. Well done. Queen F3 and G4. And we're going to get this final game concluding. And you'll see the official standings pop up on the screen. We'll just wait for this one to be finished off. Yeah, Ali Reza, 9 points out of 10 after losing a game. So impressive. And there we go. I think that is the last game of Title Tuesday for May the 12th. There it is. As announced, Hikaru Nakamura, 9.5 out of 10, undefeated performance in Title Tuesday. I mean, he had his scary moments, he had his tough games, but ultimately took care of business, did what a 3250 rated player should do in these events, he staved off a lot of tough games. Very impressive. First place for Hikaru. Firouzja, as I've been praising, lost the game and then came back and just won every single game, beating Shakhriyar Mamedyarov in the final round. Clutch performance, coming in second place, 9 out of 10. And Lekwang Liem sort of snuck in there. I mean, we didn't watch any of his games, but somehow he got 9 out of 10. I don't know if he drew 2 games or if he lost the game, but we can't... I watched Firouzja and Hikaru play more, so I have more to say about them in this event. But clearly, Lekwang Liem, we can't forget his performance here. 9 points out of 10 as well. And that's also an incredible performance. So he ties for second. Firouzja and Lekwang Liem are going to share second place. So there you go, guys. That is May 12th, Title Tuesday done. I am actually, believe it or not, you're probably tired of me by now, but I'm going to be back next week, also commentating Title Tuesday here with you guys. So hopefully you join again. Remember, Title Tuesday does take place every week now. So someone mentioned earlier, the graphic on screen does say that, I believe, does say that it's the beginning of every month. But please remember, it is every week. So every week, come back Title Tuesday, exact same time, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be here, and next week I'll be hosting again. So looking forward to seeing you guys next week. And as far as I know, guys, stay tuned. We are sending the raid off to Anna Kramling. I saw that she was maybe doing a very long stream today, something like a 9-hour stream, something. So let's stay tuned. More chess coming your way. The raid is going to go over to Anna Kramling, but I am done for now. Hikaru, congratulations, came first place in Title Tuesday. Despite being like one of the rating favorites in the event, it's so hard to do that. So that type of consistent performance always deserves some praise. We're heading over to Anna's channel, guys. Thank you. That's all for me from now. All from me for now. Take care, everybody. We'll be back next week with more commentary.